is really scary. Oh my God. I've never done a YouTube live before, so this is scary. Gotta step out your comfort zone. Haven't you? Oh my God, someone's on. I can only see little numbers, so I don't know if there's a chat box or something. Comments. If you could drop a comment. Hey, there's 2 people. Yay! Yeah, I don't know if there's like a chat box. I assume there is somewhere. I should have been more proud. I've never done a YouTube live before. But say hey if there is a chat box. I mean, there's something on the side that says say something, so hopefully there is. But hey, everybody, this is amazing. I'm really excited to be here on YouTube instead of on Facebook. I've got 3 people and a thumbs up. God, we're on to a winner, guys. We're on to a winner. Hey, Tom. Anyone else, if you feel called, say hey in the little chat box. I'm going to give it 10 seconds. Hey, beautiful niece. Number 1 biggest fan. Hope you're enjoying your bath. Okay, I'm going to give it like 10 seconds and then we'll start. There's a few people that said they were going to join, but then we're in different time zones, so you might join after. And then we'll keep going. I'm really excited about this topic, and I wasn't really sure I was going to show up today. But the topic is being human and welcoming everything about being human, so therefore show up as your authentic human being self. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put the hands on the chest, roll the shoulders away from the ears, close down the eyes, and we're just going to take a moment to drop in, take a deep breath, and just connect to where we are and how we feel right now. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice what's going on in this space in your body. Feel your heartbeat, find your breath. And know that whatever you feel in this moment is okay. It's completely welcome. Just connect to whatever it is that's there. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I feel incredibly nervous. My heart is beating so fast. How are you feeling? Whatever that is that you feel, breathe deep down into that heart space, into your body. And then let it go. Gently open up your eyes. Hey. So, today, the topic of this little Dharma Talk is being human. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with what Dharma Talk is. Dharma Talk is kind of uncovering all the layers and all the stuff that we're kind of weighed down by, and uncovering what lies underneath, what lies within us, what lies in our hearts, what lies in our body, what is our true purpose, our true passion, who are we underneath all this crazy stuff. And so today's Dharma Talk, being human, is probably like the whole purpose of a Dharma Talk, learning to be human. So I kind of didn't really plan this. I have a few ideas what we'll talk about, but we'll just let it flow and we'll just see where we go. And any questions, get involved, say hey, add anything to the chat. I'm here to kind of connect with you guys, not just ramble at you for half an hour. And we'll kind of just go from there, and we'll just drop into this space and just allow whatever happens to flow through us, and we'll kind of let it all out and work it all out as we go. So being human. Wow, big topic. I don't think we can cover it in half an hour. I've spent almost 25 years trying to work out how to be human, so half an hour is definitely not long enough. But we're going to start to uncover kind of certain aspects of being a human being and kind of what holds us back, what weighs us down, what stops us from really shining as a human being. Because there is such pleasure and such joy in being a human. So much pleasure and so much joy. And we are so distracted. We're so surrounded by noise and just crap that we don't enjoy the pleasure of being a human being. And I think we're so weighed down by expectations and by rules and by assumptions that we feel so heavy. And really, human beings are incredible. We are limitless potential. We have the ability to create anything. I mean, I don't know where you guys are right now, but look at the room around you and look at all this stuff in the room around you that was created by a single thought in a human mind. This computer that I am talking to you guys on, that was created in some human's mind. Isn't that just insane? That is the potential of being a human being. When we start to shed the layers, when we start to break down the rules, the assumptions, the opinions, the expectations, everything that weighs us down. And that doesn't mean that being a human is easy. Being a human is really hard. We make our lives so complicated. We make our lives so noisy and distracted, and we set these crazy expectations for ourselves. And being a human means that you feel everything. It means that you feel the lows, you feel the highs, and you feel everything in between. It is not just happiness and that's it. And I think that is such a crazy myth that we seem to live our lives by, that you should only ever feel happy and you get to this destination happy and then you're there and that's it. And that is not true. That is not how the world works. That is not how being a human being works. And actually, by having this expectation, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've just done yoga, so I'm a little bit hot flushed. Can't believe I just burped live on a YouTube. God, real and authentic. Talk about it. Um, yeah, we seem to set this expectation that we should be happy, and this expectation so often is what weighs us down, because we think that any little bump in the road, any little moment of worry or fear or darkness or sadness or anger, that something is wrong with us. But that's not true. You're a human and you feel everything. And I really invite you to let go of all that, to let go of those expectations that you put on yourself. The world will put expectations on you. The world will put these rules, these opinions, and expectations on top of you. But I really invite you to shed them from what you're putting on top of yourself. Don't add to that. And so, this idea of being happy, that happiness is a destination, is bonkers. You can be happy, you can be incredibly happy, but it doesn't mean that you'll be happy forever. And it doesn't mean that your life will just be happy. And if it was, how dull would that be? Nothing would feel good anymore because everything would just be the same. And I think being a human being means welcoming those highs and those lows and allowing yourself to feel everything in between, allowing yourself to feel the pain of being a human being, allowing yourself to welcome the pleasure of being a human being, and welcoming everything else in between. Because that is what being a human is. Being a human being doesn't mean getting to a certain destination and that is it, you're there. It doesn't mean achieving something from outside of you. It doesn't mean creating a crazy dream world. It means being here. It means being in your body. It means finding your breath. It means connecting to who you are underneath everything else and being okay with who you are without the need for everything else around you, without the need for external joys, without enjoy it. Enjoy all of those things, but know that underneath you are okay, and know that you are safe and you are loved and supported as you are, and that you don't need those things. And I think when you realize that you don't need all of those things, that's when you get to welcome them all, because you're not clinging to them and you're not clinging to having to have those in order to feel a certain thing. And I think part of being a human being is just meeting yourself where you are. Some days you'll wake up with a smile on your face and life will feel easy. Some days you'll wake up and you'll feel a little bit funky and you won't know why, and that's okay. And in those moments that you start to question and you start to judge yourself and you start to put more crap on top of yourself for feeling the way you do, I really invite you to embody this. I am human. And just, I am human. I am everything. I welcome everything and allow it. Because how incredible and how empowering is that to say, okay, this is where I am. I welcome it. I accept it. I'm going to welcome it in instead of push it away. Because the more you push, the more resistance you create and the harder it is to feel happy again. I think it was Buddha. This is going to sound really bad, but I think it was Buddha that said that suffering comes from the resistance of our experience. It doesn't come from our external experience. It comes from how we decide to view that experience, how we decide to interact with that experience, and how we decide to either welcome it or push it away. And the more we push, the more resistance we create. So every time you feel scared, every time you feel sad or angry or something that you don't want to feel, I invite you to welcome that in. And one of my favorite ways of doing that is by saying, so I have this real resistance to being angry, childhood things, and I get kind of almost scared every time I feel angry. I want to push it away. I don't want to feel angry. I want to fight it and I want to pretend that I'm okay and pretend that I don't feel angry. But every time that I do, I sit there and I say, I am angry and I love that. And in just those words, you are welcoming that feeling in and you're allowing it to move through you instead of pushing it away and actually pushing it further down and holding on to it. These feelings that come up, everything that bubbles up for us, these thoughts, these feelings, it's them moving through us. Let them move through you. Let them move and go away and don't hold on to them. Don't create stories around them. Don't try and question them. Don't add labels or judgments. Just let them move through you and welcome them in. Because that is how you start to actually find this place of peace and balance in yourself, is by welcoming every part of your experience. One of my favorite mantras that I use all the time, I found it in my yoga teacher training, and when my teacher told it to me, I just instantly felt connected to it, and it embodies so much in such a simple phrase, and it welcomes so much and allows space for so much. And my favorite mantra is so hum, and it means I am that, I am everything. And it really embodies being a human, because you are everything. You are the light, you are the darkness, you are the wobbles, you are the falls, you are everything in between. And I think when we start to actually allow ourselves to feel that and to show up as we are, that is where our magic is. That is where our power lies. That is where we create the world that we desire, because we're allowing ourselves to be where we are. And I think that's one of my favorite things about yoga, is that you roll out your mat and you meet yourself where you are. You allow yourself to move from where you are. No rules, no expectations. You just meet yourself exactly where you are. And know that you're not there forever. Know that it will pass and that things will change. Whether you feel incredibly happy or incredibly low, both of those things will pass and change. There is nothing permanent about this life. And the more we try to cling to this idea that we reach a certain destination and that's it, the more we try to cling to something being in our life forever, the harder it is to overcome that, and the harder it is we fall from that. And so being a human is just allowing ourselves to be where we are and to be enough as we are, because you don't need anything from outside of you. You don't need to change. You don't need to fix anything inside of you. I think, to me, personal growth And transformation is not about fixing, it's not about changing, it's about shedding, it's about releasing, it's about breaking down the barriers, breaking down the limiting beliefs, breaking down the fears, the expectations, the rules, the assumptions, the opinions. And it's about really allowing yourself to come back to who you are. And this is something I learned in my yoga foundation, and it is the idea of Atman and Brahman. So you may have heard this in other kind of spiritual ways and like law of attraction kind of things, and it comes across in so many different teachings, because I think yogic teachings have been translated and shifted and told in different ways, and I think that's so beautiful because it can connect with so many different people, because not everyone connects to the idea of yoga, and that's okay. It's not right for everyone, but it's beautiful that it can be told in a whole different way. So the idea of Atman is your true self, your true being, it's your purpose, it is your inner being. In law of attraction, it is that little part of you, it's your guidance system, it is your soul, your source, your connection to source. And the idea is that your Atman is hidden underneath all these layers, and you're like an onion. The true being, that perfect little being inside of you, is hidden under all these layers. And they're created in our minds. They're created by the way we've grown up, the environment we've grown up in. They're created by the world around us. And just everything in our life so far has kind of covered up who we really are. And it's our jobs to start shedding those, start releasing them, start letting them go, and really coming back to who we are underneath. So this idea of Atman and Brahman. Brahman is the universe. It is what you come from. Brahman is everything. So kind of in law of attraction and quantum, Brahman is what everything is made up of. I mean, everything is made up of atoms. Everything is made up of the same thing, just in a different form, and that is Brahman. Brahman is everything, and your Atman is connected to your Brahman. I sound like I'm going a little crazy, but I promise you, it's a proper teaching. And to me, the idea of being a human being is uncovering your Atman, uncovering your inner being, uncovering your true self. And it is a journey. It is not a journey to a specific destination. It is not something that you achieve. It is something that you work towards for your whole entire life. And it is something that you have to keep working towards. And this idea that if you are not growing or moving forwards, then you're moving backwards, is kind of true, because if you're not moving forwards and you're not diving deeper and you're not continuing to do the work, then you're almost adding more layers and hiding yourself again. So the idea of being human is releasing those, letting them go, coming back to who you are underneath. And when you notice your mind start to go crazy with the rules and expectations and opinions of others, starting to change that, starting to rewrite our story. Okay. Being a human. There's so much to say. And it's kind of working out what to share with you guys. So being a human also comes with challenges. There are always bumps in the road. That will so the path to enlightenment, which is kind of the path to your inner being, the path to the truth, to you, to who you are underneath, is never ever straight. Never. There are always bumps in the road. There are always challenges. There are always blocks. There are always barriers, and there are wobbles. And I think the more we allow ourselves to feel those wobbles, the more space we have to overcome those. Because if we're ready for them, we know that they're coming, but we know that we can overcome them. We know that they're not going to stop us. Then we can keep going. If we're expecting everything to be sunshine and rainbows and never wobbly, then we hit a little bump and we're almost stopped dead in our tracks. We're stopped still because we thought that we'd just reach this place and be happy. And that is such a heartbreaking realization, that we can't just reach this place of being happy and that be it. But it's also incredibly empowering because we realize that wherever we are right now is okay, and wherever we are right now will change, and that this isn't it. There is so much coming to us, there is so much out there to experience and welcome in, and that is such a joy. The future is completely unknown. There is so much out there in the world that we get to experience as a human being, and that we get to go and welcome in, and we get to create as well. And I think when we get fixed on this idea that this is what life looks like and that's it, we're almost setting ourselves up for failure, because no one can predict what the future will hold. No one can predict what your life will look like in a year's time or 6 months' time or even a month's time. No one knows. And the more you welcome that unknown, the more you welcome the possibility of something truly incredible. I mean, look back at your life so far. Are you where you thought you would be? I'm definitely not. My my idea of life looked completely different to this. I had no plans to be a yoga teacher. I had no plans to sit and do a YouTube live. I had no plans to be anywhere that I am right now. But I'm so freaking glad that I am, because there is also so much beauty in where I am right now. And if I'd have planned this, it would never have been as amazing as it is, and as beautiful as it is. And I wouldn't have the amazing people in my life that I do, because they were unknown to me. And so being a human is really welcoming that unknown and stepping into that unknown with courage and love and compassion for ourselves. And so I kind of wanted to talk about the tools we have as a human being. So we know we're going to face these wobbles. We know we're going to face these challenges. We know that life is not straight, and that it will change, it will adjust, and we'll have to just kind of deal with all these craziness as life throws these curveballs at us. But we have these tools within us. And I think this is so powerful when we come back to these tools that we have within us, because we realize that we don't need all of this stuff around us. All we need is to come back to ourselves. And we know that no matter what we face, we always have these tools. And so I like to think of being a human being, you need a toolbox for life, tools and practices and things you can come back to, that no matter what life throws your way, you know you have a way of getting through it. You know you have a way of overcoming it. You have a way of accepting it and welcoming it and moving past it and letting it move through you. So one of the biggest tools that we have is our breath. And it's really connecting to the inhale, to the exhale, and to really use the breath as a tool. And it is one of the most powerful tools. If we need to focus, we need to energize, you want to lengthen your inhale and shorten your exhale, increasing the oxygen in your body. It's kind of a Wim Hof kind of thing. You increase the inhale, increase the amount of oxygen in your body, really allow yourself to be energized and focused and oxygenated, and you will absolutely kill it. If you want to calm your nervous system down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, if everything's feeling a little bit too much, if you're feeling anxious, you want to shorten the inhale and lengthen the exhale. And it is that simple. We have all these incredible breath practices that aren't that complicated. Some of them are. You type in pranayama and people are doing these crazy like rolls with their tummy, and they're like pumping their tummies, and they're doing all these crazy things. You don't need to do all of that. Just simply come back to the inhale and the exhale. And remember that if you want to energize and focus, lengthen the inhale, shorten the exhale. If you want to calm, release stress, release anxiety, shorten the inhale, lengthen the exhale. And if you want to just find balance, find a nice steady square breath. So you breathe in for a certain amount of time, hold for the same amount of time, out for the same amount of time, hold for the same amount of time. Just a nice little square. And that will help bring you into balance. But if you guys would like more breath practices, let me know, because I have a whole toolbox full of breath practices that I use all the time. These last couple of days for me have been quite overwhelming and quite hard and quite stressful. And my breath has been my savior, as well as the incredible people in my life. But my breath has really been my tool. And you can have all the people in your life, but sometimes you need to come back to yourself and come back to the tools you have within to really get through it and to like move it through your body. And your breath is one of the best things for doing that. So one of our other tools that we have in our toolbox is our bodies. Our bodies are our vehicles for this physical world. There is more to the world than what we see. In fact, I think it's something like 99.99999% is energy, and only 0.00001 is actual physical matter. So think of that number. That is how much of the world we cannot see. But our bodies are how we move through this experience, through what we can see and what we can experience. And our bodies are there as our tools. They are there to help us through this crazy physical life, through the ups and the downs and the wobbles and the highs and the lows. We just don't use them, and we don't even connect to them. How many of us are so disconnected from this? How often do you touch the soles of your feet? Like, that is so incredibly powerful. It's just touching the soles of your feet, because your feet are what carries you through life. And it is so grounding, and it can bring you out of your head and back down, because sometimes the world in our heads is not a world that we want to stay in. It's a world that we've kind of got sucked into, and it's chaotic and it's noisy and it's heavy, and sometimes we need to step out of that so that we can actually make sense of what's going on up here. And to do that, we need to connect to our bodies. So our bodies are amazing. If we're facing trauma or stress or anxiety, shake it out. I don't know if you've ever seen an animal come out of a fight, probably not, but if you see like a cat come out of a fight, they shake their bodies, and that is them releasing the energy of that fight, that trauma, that kind of anxious fight or flight response. That's how they release that, is shaking their bodies. And we have that same response. We have that same fight or flight response within us. We face an anxious situation. Back in day, it would have been tigers. Now we don't have tigers, but we have Instagram messages, we have emails, we have people commenting on our pictures or sending us hate, or bills to pay, or all this other crazy stuff going on that puts our bodies and our nervous system into fight or flight. And we have not learned how to deal with that. And in fact, we've come so far away from that because we're so worried about what everyone else thinks of us, that if you stand in the street and just shake your body, people are going to look at you and be like, who the hell is that, and what the hell is she doing? But actually, that is an incredible human response, is to shake your body, shake out the trauma, shake out the stress. And I swear to you, shaking your body when you feel overwhelmed and heavy and stressed is one of the most incredible things. You just shake it out, dance around, jump around, shake it out, twist your body, and you will feel renewed and refreshed. And another way of using our bodies is tapping. I think I'll do a whole series on tapping because there's so much to share about it. But tapping certain points in your body helps to release the energy and the trauma and the stress and the emotions held in your body. So our bodies are such an incredible tool for being a human being. They are this human experience. And the last tool we have is our minds. Sometimes our minds go a little crazy, a little chaotic, and it can be hard to make sense of it all. But when we start to work with our minds, we really step into our power. When we start to rewrite that story. So say that you're getting overwhelmed by this idea that what you desire in life isn't coming your way, that it might not happen, that this might happen, that that might happen, that all this stuff that hasn't happened yet might happen. I really invite you to listen to that story that you're telling yourself and rewrite it. Because you don't know that that stuff's going to happen. Something amazing might come your way. You don't know. So work with your mind, rewrite your story, and choose a different reality. I'm not saying that it will completely change the way you feel. You still feel the way you feel, but you're just reaching for a better feeling, and you're allowing yourself to embody and welcome in a different story and a different experience. So work with your mind, because it's an incredible tool that we have. We just don't know how to use it, and we get so bogged down by it. And it's stepping away from that chaotic mind and learning to work with it. And I think that's my biggest passion in life, is learning to work with your mind and your body so that we can find peace, find balance, find love within ourselves and within who we are. But my last little point that I want to end this crazy little Dharma talk on, is never try to be perfect, because it will be an incredibly lonely life. No one on this planet is perfect. No one on this planet has it figured out. No one knows what they're doing. No one has the answers. We're not put here with a manual, with rules, with this is how you do it. This is how you kind of be a human. This is how you get there. This is how you do it. This is it. No one knows. So I really invite you to enjoy and welcome in this imperfect, crazy, amazing human part of you, and never be perfect, because it would be incredibly lonely and life would be boring, incredibly boring. So just welcome it in, allow it. And if you were perfect, you'd be an alien, and we're not, we're human. So yeah. And before we end, we'll take a quick deep breath, coming back down into our bodies, just kind of allowing all of that to sit, to sink in. So put your hands on your heart, relax your shoulders, close down your eyes, take a deep breath in. Let it go. Take a couple of breaths here. Just notice how it feels to inhale and exhale. Scan through your body. Notice how you feel. One more deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Lift the corners of your mouth, bring a smile to your lips. And I invite you right here to have a moment of gratitude for your body, for your mind, and for your breath. Thank you all for being on this crazy journey with me. I appreciate you all. I see you all. I hear you all. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I will come back to any questions, and have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday evening. Thank you, everybody.